But enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Wow.
That's a waker-upper.
It sure is. Good morning. Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show.
Greetings.
Patrice Oneal in studio. We want to get right into this because I'm enjoying my Sunday, just kind of mellowing out.
Sure.
Watching a little LeBron, watching the Cavaliers and the Knicks, watching a little golf. Tiger Woods doing his thing. Top 10 finish. He's back on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
Getting his skills back. Old man boobs won again, Phil Mickelson. Even though he had, they called it the cold sweats.
What?
Yeah, the final round of the tournament yesterday. Most people could give a shit about golf, I understand, but this little point you could give a shit about. He's leading going into the final round, and he basically has the flu, and they said that he's in the bathroom with the cold sweats before he teed off.
Oh, he was taking a massive...
Well, that's the polite way of saying that, yeah, he had explosive diarrhea before he had to tee off.
Oh, you're sweating and your thighs hurt?
Sure. So he was miserable, but he was able to hold on and win at Doral. So, but anyway, I'm watching all this stuff, just mellowing, having a nice Sunday, and then Patrice calls up. Sounded like he was on drugs or something, I don't know. It's like, hey, call me back. So I call him back. He's like, you got to watch the Obama deception. Yeah. Oh, my God. It'll open your eyes. And I'm thinking to myself, Patrice is a black guy. Obama deception? What the hell is that? That sounds like some kind of Rush Limbaugh thing.
Some kind of propaganda.
Sure.
I watch it all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you got it. You know.
So before Patrice goes off, I watched most of it because I didn't have time to watch the whole thing by the time he called me because I had a crash. I got up to I did 9 out of the 12 parts that you can find on YouTube.
Not bad.
And then Patrice calls in the middle of that again, and we start discussing it for an hour. Then I go to bed, and this is where I say F you today. My dream was I was rocking. I was one of those Illuminati guys. I was being swept away to secret meeting, and I had like people. I don't even know who they were, but they needed to get to me because I was up to no good. I was like help running the world, but I wasn't the main guy. I was like just one of these guys.
Oh yeah,
it was like an action movie because of you.
That's right.
Woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. My girl's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, nightmares. And they went back and got to part 2 of this action movie that you put in my head.
I tried to call you, motherfucker. I don't know what you was doing. I called you a few times. I haven't called you enough to know to leave messages. Like, I don't know. So I just called, try to maybe see a missed call. And I was trying to tell you to watch it.
Yeah.
Because the Obama deception is basically, it's not what you think it is. It's not saying that Obama is magically awful.
Right.
It's just, and it goes back to Bush and all of them. It's not that it's just the system.
It's more like the presidential deception.
It's just it's just what it is, man.
Yeah, to think that
it's horrible.
This system's going to change because Obama's in there. But basically, this movie's saying, yeah, right.
So the whole Obama president don't mean nothing.
It don't mean nothing to anybody.
Yeah.
Like, it don't even mean nothing to people who are like, well, he's going to do something or not. But it's so big that I don't know even if the president knows what it is. I don't know, because he's looking like he wants to quit. Like, when I'm looking at him now,
doesn't he look
looks like, can I get out of this shit?
I just wanted to campaign and get the job. I don't want to do the job.
Right.
I don't want to help destroy the planet Earth.
Because he was taught what it's all about. Like, we noticed he looks tired finally. He looks grayer all of a sudden.
He looks like he got into something he didn't want to get into.
That sparkle in his eyes is kind of leaving.
And his job in the movie, what his job is for them. Mm-hmm. For the people.
The Illuminati?
No, not the Illuminati. They never said the
Bill Burr Group?
The Bill Burr Group.
The Bill Burr Group.
The Bill Burr Group.
The Bill Burr Group is running the world.
They're running the world, and they are comfortable saying the Bilderberg Group.
Yeah.
But they're not comfortable saying the Illuminati. Mm-hmm. But people are comfortable that the Bilderberg Group exists. And Obama, all his job is to do is keep the people loving him. That's his job. His first mission is making sure people keep loving him.
He apparently is the guy that needs to be in there right now?
Yes.
According to this movie, the
And
Obama deception.
Alan Greenspan, who is big in this, evidently, according to this movie. I'm not comfortable. I'm watching this movie.
Yeah, you gotta keep propaganda close.
You know, I just
You gotta keep that word close at hand when you start discussing this stuff.
Alan Greenspan, according to this movie, is one of the biggies at the Federal Reserve Bank, who, by the way, has nothing to do with the feds. I
always thought the Federal Reserve had something to do with America, and I learned
absolutely not.
No, I did learn that recently.
It's got nothing to do with it.
It's a bank
nothing.
like fucking WAMU. It's that the country owes money to.
But
A lot of money.
The feds. How can they owe money to themselves?
In the movie, it goes. It's basically as Federal Express.
Yeah, that's what they said. And basically, we owe this bank a lot of money.
A lot of money.
When did the country go bankrupt according to this movie?
1933.
Three, I think, yeah.
It went bankrupt.
So when the Federal Reserve Bank prints up money, that cost has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
And they're only lending this paper with the denominations on it.
They're lending it to us.
And then it's got to be paid back to whom?
To the Bill Burr Group.
So, wait a minute. Let me tell you what Alan Greenspan said in the thing. And it's so much shit that it's like I couldn't even go in order. They ask him, they go, "Hey man, what's the relationship between the president and the Federal Reserve Bank?" He went like this. He goes, "I don't know. Like, don't have to be a relationship. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No big deal on a relationship. There's nothing he can say or do or think that could affect the Federal Reserve Bank.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing. You go back into... Now, I watched one called The Zeitgeist.
Oh, boy.
Zeitgeist, right?
You spent the whole day. You went from movie to movie to movie.
When I go home, I'm going to take a nap, get back up, and have my face...
educate yourself.
And have my face dunked into conspiracy theories.
You're going to just keep digging in, right?
So, Zeitgeist starts off with... I'm sticking with government right now. Zeitgeist starts off with the lie of Jesus Christ, the whole thing. So I just said I can't get into this one right now.
Yeah, this one's deep.
But this one goes into why we went into the Revolutionary War, which is all about money, which is the fact that when the people left England, they printed their own money. They created their own system.
I thought it was to get freedom of religion and speech and to worship. And
they were here.
To be free and all that stuff.
How do you give a fuck? If you're in England, what are you going to do in America? Nothing. They printed their own money. England said, whoa. Yeah, that's cancel that shit. No, you can't have your own money. So now that they don't have their own money, they had to take loans from England at percentage. So they go, we're enslaved. So they go, fuck it. The Revolutionary War was them going, fuck it.
We're not paying
I'm
you.
not paying you, nigga. And they go, we'll fight to the death before I keep paying you this bullshit. That's when they won the freedom. But right after that, these people, J.P. Morgan Chase, allegedly, Rockefeller, allegedly, according to this movie, fucking Rothschild.
We've heard the Rothschild name.
Love his candies.
Who is mind-blowing, during the Napoleon War, whatever war that was, the French Revolution or whatever.
Yeah, one of those.
Rothschild found out, because he had family over there, that Napoleon lost. And this is before Google.
Yeah, you couldn't just Google.
So he found out a day early that the war was lost by Napoleon. He put a word out that Napoleon won the war. And everybody was horrified that England lost the war.
Yeah.
Took everything out, everything plunged, England was worthless. Rothschild goes in with $1.50 and buys England. Finds out Napoleon lost. England's worth gwillions now.
Now everything
Guess
goes back
who
up.
Runs?
He bought it at dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap.
Now it's worth.
Mr. Rothschild owns England. Owns the world. Now America fought their way out of this. This is the spirit of where America came from.
Yeah.
Now we're living under it right now. Now you get up to Woodrow Wilson signing the Federal Reserve Act.
1913.
1913. In 1933,
I know my history.
the fucking America collapses.
Bankrupt.
Yeah, that was the
The country
big one.
is bankrupt.
They have to borrow more money from the feds.
So the feds, which has nothing to do
Have
with
nothing to do.
the federal government.
They have to borrow more money. This is why, again, a whole nother side shit where they start wars on purpose so they can just keep lending money. So they can keep lending money to everybody. They don't give a fuck. So in 1936, as collateral for the new money that they're lending, the big bankrupt money, they create Social Security and 401ks and all that shit as collateral for the money they're lending now. How are you going to pay this money back?
It's like, well, we got people now giving money into us, and that'll pay you back.
And here's the thing: it's never based on force. It's never based on pistol to your head force. It's based on we got people who think when they're 60 they're gonna have this money to live their life, but really they're giving us this money freely to pay back this loan.
It amounts to some kind of Ponzi scheme that can't possibly be paid off
Ever.
to everybody when they reach retirement age. There just isn't enough cash.
There you go.
Dude.
So now why is it called the Obama deception?
Because
everyone believes that Obama's going to change the world, but the fact is he's just...
Let's change America.
He's just
Let's change America.
He's just the next guy in there to keep everything going.
he's just the guy. He's just whatever they need him to do to be.
And they brought up the fact that the last real president we ever had was Kennedy.
JFK.
And he was trying to, go against...
And guess what happened to him?
this whole thing.
I hear
and
something.
they took him out.
A splitting headache one day.
And they said that the only president every president that ever stood up to this is no longer with us before he was not supposed to be no longer with us. And only one that made it through was Thomas Jefferson.
Really? That early?
Yes.
Like they were pulling
Thomas
those shenanigans?
Jefferson's the only one that didn't. They tried to kill him a few times, but, back in the day, they didn't have, laser beams.
Yeah, you had to hope he was going to sip the arsenic tea that you left by his bedside.
You had to sneak your musket in and blow his face off. You got to wait till he's at Broadway watching a shitty show with his wife and hit him right in the head. And I guess...
You're opening the right curtain to shoot him.
Hoping that musket ball took his face off. And he didn't, he's the only one that stood up against it that didn't.
I didn't even know they tried to kill Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah,
I had no clue.
a few times.
Yeah? Do you know of any of the plots that went wrong?
Fuck no. I'm repeating shit like a parrot. I gotta go find out.
Black slave girl with a bear trap in her pussy or some shit.
Yeah, but that's what we all do, is we just turn into parrots. You read one political book,
and I'm a parrot.
Next thing you think you know everything.
But I'm just repeating what I say. It's just, I believe it, though. I just believe it because we're living in that time. And the actual thing is what they've trying to unfold has been since World War I is a one world thing.
Yeah.
The last bit of it is I think China, because they're trying to get, they cancel Europe. The EU, there's no borders.
Yeah.
But they signed a thing called the North American Union, and there's no borders here either. Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. is borderless. That's why no one's talking about immigration and sneaking across the border, because they want one big thing, so that they can control one big thing. They're canceling all this horseshit.
One World Bank.
One World Bank. To make one world, Well,
that would be
they did it to Africa. Africa was the first one they did it to. Yeah, cancel all these funky African countries. We need one Africa.
Those borders were changing every week anyway.
Fuck all that. EU, and then China, and I don't think China's involved quite yet, but they're the next one that we got to figure out.
Well, that story came out how China's they're getting a little edgy about how much money we owe them. Because they are in possession of a lot of our dollars, and if something happens to our dollars, they're shit out of luck. So they're starting to say, hey, We need a little security here.
Yeah.
What you need something to back this shit up.
How much?
Yeah.
$787 billion?
Yeah. How can you back this shit up? It's just paper to us.
$5 trillion?
Yeah.
That's missing?
It's a lot of fucking massive firecrackers.
Coming out of your kid's asshole? Every time you get a motherfucker, every time you have a baby, that's a little cash register for the...
The best part of the Obama deception was going through all the stuff Obama said during his campaign.
Yes.
Like, I'm going to get everybody out of Iraq. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then they're showing, unfortunately, in the movie, they should have waited to put the movie out until Obama's in there a little longer.
Right.
But they're saying, like, in the first 30 days, he's drastically changing his tune. And they're basically saying he's the biggest liar of all of them.
Wow.
Well, because the Guantanamo Bay thing...
than the... Which pissed off Anthony.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. You'll like this one. This is why I wanted to call you.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
They didn't really close...
Oh, yeah, they didn't close it.
Yeah, well, explain that to him real fast before you go to the gun law thing.
The Guantanamo Bay thing was just a promise to think about closing it.
Right.
In a year. Not closing it. I promised that I might close that shit.
In a year.
According to the movie.
Right.
Right, because from what I've heard, it sure sounds like he's closing the shit down, but
it's also being told that they're sending these prisoners elsewhere to get the crap beat out of them. They're not just letting them go and then, like, all right, go on with your lives.
It's not covered internationally.
Right. They're just kind of moving them to another place.
they'll just send them to, like, Saudi Arabia where they can
According to the movie.
Right.
According to the film
movie, right.
by Alex Jones.
And what about the gun laws?
Who also did Endgame, by the way.
Because I'm very interested in Obama's stance on the new Attorney General and Hillary and all that on gun laws.
Well, here's the thing about gun laws, my friend.
According to the movie.
According to the film. We are now a standing army. We are absolutely a standing army. Which means, it means that our soldiers are now going to be slowly deployed all over the planet. Very close to China and Russia.
That's crazy.
Very close, sending everyone everywhere.
No, that's crazy because Obama said that he wants to pull back.
Well, he put 30,000 extra troops in Afghanistan. According to someone else, I wasn't there. I didn't see what happened. Now, ultimately, though, what they're doing, and I forgot the name of the website, and essentially is and Rahm Emanuel said it in the movie. He goes, look, eventually, America, being an American is not a privilege. It is it's not a right, it's a privilege. And you are to service. They use this word service. They use New World Order and service. Service. A lot. Service. You are to service this country. And they're trying to implement that kids from 18 to 25 be required to service the country. Required. They don't get into what the service is. But basically, according to this film, that they need more police. So they're trying to create a civilian army for when the shit goes down and there's martial law. They need people. And not everybody is going to come in and go, hey, I volunteer. So they're going to have service. And what they're doing, the first phase, is to cancel the Second Amendment. Right. So that there's only the fucking police running around with guns. People can't have guns to protect themselves. They have to take away that shit so that they can go find out who's registered. And there'll be criminals with them, but criminals will end up being our friend if this goes down. That's always been the way, any kind of fascist state has worked. They take away the civilians. They use that fucking term a couple of times. Yeah. This shit is fascism. And that's one of the biggies as far as the NRA goes. They're saying all this stuff like this. This is what goes down. Usually when there's a gun law that's passed, if you're grandfathered in, you're fine. Let's say you have a rifle that's considered an assault rifle, and then they ban assault rifles. They don't come to your door, for the most part, and take your weapons away. They did that in a few places where they outlawed handguns, like in Chicago and stuff, where you had to take your pistol and hand it into the police department. But for the most part, they haven't knocked on your door and said, we're coming for your guns. But that is something that is definitely a potential act
under Obama and this attorney general. They've got a lot of anti-gun people in there, anti-Second Amendment people.
That if they're gonna take the guns, and again, according to this film,
in the film,
that they want to take the phase 1 is to take these. Phase 2 is to slowly implement service. And Rahm Emanuel's sitting there saying it. Slowly implement service. And they don't say nothing else but fucking service.
So there's this youth army that kind of...
Nigga! What the... Like,
that's just kind of what, and their job will be to keep the people from fucking saying fuck you.
When they go, all right, everybody, listen, here's what we need to do.
Hear ye.
We're just going to take your money and we're going to just outright come in here with this Viva Vendetta kind of thing. With this, what's the other movie that's like V? Like where these fucking movies, with this They Live kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right,
yeah.
When they come in and they just lower the boom and say, here's our plan, but it's too late for you to do anything stupid. They're gonna have motherfuckers, making sure that they'll shoot a motherfucker in the face.
Service.
Service. As soon as you go, wait a minute, J.P. Morgan Chase, I want my money. And they'll have somebody in that motherfucker to blow your face off.
We're sorry about that. Go to your home that you can't afford.
Fast forward to why Obama was picked. This movie's saying he was groomed for 30 years.
Yes, according to this film. Because the globalization has a different phase. It ain't white no more. If you want to go global, most global is not white. It's just Australia and England and America is full of white people. But everybody else, he's there to make everybody else feel like they're possibly a part of this globalization.
Danny just ruined the whole little world of intrigue through this movie for me by telling me it is produced by the same guy that produced Loose Change, which I see.
Wait, his name is Alex Jones? Did Alex Jones do Loose Change? One of the biggest
hunks of shit, fake propaganda bullshit.
I believed in, he did Endgame too. And look, the propaganda, you could believe if Rush Limbaugh does a well done documentary. Yeah, I'm sure you go whoa. You could go whoa, and you lean towards what you believe. The 9/11 thing, according to the other movie, the not Endgame, Zeitgeist. Yeah. About 9/11 is this, and again, forget 9/11 in terms of actually what happened. Yeah. Talking about the background of it. World War I, we could not get involved in World War I. America would not want to get involved. No one supported World War I, us being in World War I. Yeah, Europe's problem. They have this conversation, allegedly, but it's supposed to be on record.
Oh, yeah, this is like something
dude
that's known.
Talked to another dude and said, listen, we can't get in the war. And he goes, what if an ocean liner with a bunch of Americans on it fucking sunk?
It's torpedoed or something.
Why'd that happen? What do you think? Well, I think that America probably have to get involved. Boom! Boom! What is it, the Lusitania?
Yes, yep.
And we in. World War II did not want to get into the war. Wouldn't get into it. FDR, is it for FDR? Yeah. He started to allegedly provoke Japan into fucking with us. We embargoed them. We stopped trading with them.
Weren't giving them the steel they needed. We started
threatening them on the side, like giving China some shit and going, giving China money and help and going, fuck those motherfucking Japs. I don't like sushi anyway, bitch. Australia tells America 3 days before, according to this film, that, hey, these motherfuckers are getting together, quite a large force in the Pacific, man. They are, and they're heading towards Hawaii. Huh? What? Huh?
What?
Huh? What? Sweetie, make me some muffins. Boom!
Boom. There were a few
we in the war,
in that one.
And this bank needs this to happen so that we can support all sides. All sides. I mean, they had this thing where the Roosevelts had a company that was involved with the company that was making Cyclone B and all that shit, and they couldn't make Cyclone B, or they couldn't make something that FDR's company had patented. They was lending them money to do that, and then they gave them $20 million for this and that and this, and then all on interest. They were lending us money to fight our war. We were lending ourselves money to fight our war on interest. Fast forward to Vietnam. The reason we got into Vietnam was an attack on a ship that was a fucking lie.
The Gulf of Tonkin, yeah.
A fucking lie. Here's what bothers me. How can you, there's things that you move on to, right? How do I move on to the Gulf of Tonkin without really talking about the Lusitania, like, how do you go to the next fucking thing? Why don't you go, wait, no, let's keep talking about the fact that we may have sunk a ship with people on it. Can we talk about that? No, we just keep moving. Fast forward to the Gulf of Tonkin. A lie. Now, it's officially a fucking lie in history. It's not an argument. It's not Illuminati. It's a goddamn lie. But we fought it anyway. It's a part of history, and we go, we fought it. Fast forward to 9/11. Look, whether you go, there's some things, okay, hey, we argue back and forth. I'm going with the climate of wanting to go to war for some shit, can't go to war, and need an event big enough
to go to war.
Now, we can argue the engines disappearing at the Pentagon. We can argue this, and we can argue the spots of the way the buildings imploded, like it looked like it was demolished. Yeah. And we can disagree. I could go, I believe that shit. And you go, fuck no. But I'm saying the climate of what's happening, it's the same as the other three. Why can't we think that this shit could happen? It's shot. Building 7, and don't roll your eyes yet. I just watched Building 7. They put a picture of Building 7 falling that didn't get hit, that didn't have structural damage, imploding the same exact way as a planned demolition, the way it fell. There's people that say it. Now, I know how you feel about it.
Yeah,
I couldn't argue back and forth about it, because we're both going off what we believe. We didn't go out there with our meters or anything like that. I'm repeating some shit. You're repeating some shit what you feel. So I'm just stepping back going, historically, the country would do some fucked up shit so that it can lend itself money for war. And here's the Vietnam War that they're comparing to the Iraqi thing. All they needed to do is sustain. The Vietnam War was never supposed to be won. It was just supposed to go on and on and on and on and on. So I could keep lending myself money at interest and keep taking money out your baby's asshole.
The only thing I can even throw in as far as the 9/11 thing goes, I'll never believe that explosives were put into a fucking working building, that these workers came in and wired these fucking buildings with explosives, because you know what that takes? It takes an empty building. It takes jackhammering of cement structures that a secretary would look and go, excuse me, what are you doing with all that C4? Is there something? So I can't believe that. And there was structural damage to the building. When the two towers fell, it threw all kinds of shit into there. It was on fire for a long time. All I'm saying is, I don't believe there was this conspiracy that America planted bombs in there. Here's the only thing let me agree with you on this thing, and this is the thing that makes me not believe in aliens. All right.
Is the secrecy of the average boob. The level of secrecy that a construction worker would have to have to do that is to be logical, I go, Jesus, that doesn't make any sense that a guy would go, yeah, all right, listen, let's pretend we're going to put explosives on it and kill 3,000 people.
Yeah.
I agree. The deception that there's aliens somewhere in a building that fucking Johnny and Harry the boob are guarding against us.
Yeah.
Makes me go,
I think he's telling his chick.
Yeah, somebody knows.
Somebody, yeah.
That, hey, listen, E.T. is in this motherfucking building, sweetie. I believe that. But there are, the fact is that in order to pull off all the shit that's happening, you have to have the help of the people. We have to agree. For some reason, we have to agree to fuck each other over. And it's not far-fetched that a person has been on the phone and said to you, hi, listen, I can't, my kid is dying, I don't have insurance. Yeah, it's $1,500 a month, but I only make $750 a fucking week. Please help.
Well, that's
sorry,
$1,500.
It is a reality that people in some form or fashion will fuck other people really bad.
But here's the only thing I could even wrap my mind around that perhaps, like in the past, might have happened. There was a plot by extremists, Islamic extremists, to do what they tried to do in the early 90s, bring down the towers.
Okay.
And perhaps somebody did know that this was going to go down.
That they let it go down because
and they let it
because a big thing is
go down.
NORAD has a 5 to 10 minute response time to this type of shit, and NORAD had an 80-minute response. Like NORAD,
see, I won't even go for that.
Was shut down. Like NORAD didn't. They didn't send planes. They didn't send. I
won't even go for that because shit's supposed to work a certain way, and we found out, as far as the government goes, shit don't work as fast as it's supposed to. We thought there were fucking missiles on top of the White House and everything, and there weren't. That plane could have crashed right into the fucking White House.
Right.
But I think the damage was, if that did happen, I'm still, believe me, I'm not
and
one like.
We needed this to happen to go to war. By the way, we needed something as big
to
as
get
9/11
everybody with American flags on their windows
to fucking go and fight any war that they told us to fight.
Right, but I don't think if somebody did know about this attack beforehand, and there were FBI agents and stuff that said, "Look, this guy's taking fucking flying lessons. There's suspicious." That's documented.
Right.
But I don't think anyone thought it was going to be as fucked up as it was. If a couple of planes flew into some buildings and the fire department ran up and put them out, and they found out, look at these terrorist motherfuckers trying to bring down the towers. They killed such and such people. Let's go to war. I don't think anyone thought both of those fucking towers were falling down.
But look at that.
And buildings around it.
And again, that's when we get into logistics of all of that.
Yeah.
Ultimately, let's look at what happened. The president, now, it's essentially a dictatorship when it comes to declaring war. It used to be Congress.
Oh, Congress.
Now the president can. That fear we had of some kook pushing a button, it came true.
Yeah.
So if the whole plan was a kook to push a button, I again, not to go back and forth about whether 9/11 we did it or some crazy shit, but the fact is that ultimately it moves closer to New World Order.
The point I think you guys are both missing, like the towers didn't really need to fall down to get the point across.
Right.
Just having, the airliners crashing into two major buildings in New York City would have done the job.
I don't think anyone thought that would have happened.
Why not? It would have been enough to get a war going.
I fucking disagree.
That's just like the ocean liner going down. That's like a holy shit moment.
Let's say the ocean liner was hit.
That's why I think
it didn't sink and 1,200 people didn't die.
Right.
3,000 people died. People are still dying from all that horse shit in the air.
It made it easier, but I think just having the planes crash into the buildings would have been good enough to go with your theory that you laid out beautifully, how we're like a war economy.
Well, if those planes, if the buildings didn't fall, we would have rebuilt those holes. The buildings would still be standing tall with muscles. I think watching those buildings fall.
But you don't think that would have been enough for us to go to? Wow, I think so. I certainly think so.
I think the visual.
They really needed the buildings to come down.
Big. Pearl Harbor was big. The vision of Pearl Harbor. Big. The Japs flying over, attack everybody. Holy mother, we were attacked.
Why did the planes hit so high then?
Well, they couldn't go on the street. It was still there was buildings that were 50 stories high.
They still had a little room. They definitely had some room to hit lower.
Let's be honest.
The lower they hit,
they were giant airplanes. The fact that they both hit their target,
but the lower they hit
was pretty fucking amazing.
The lower they hit, more people would die, whether the buildings fall or not.
Now look at your theory. Why didn't they hit bigger? Right? Why didn't they hit higher? And the buildings still collapse. See, this is what I'm saying. We can go into space age, like really theories, but I'm just looking at the Gulf of Tonkin is a lie. The reason we went into Vietnam was a goddamn lie. That's what I'm saying. Is that just added up a little bit in terms of, I know this Illuminati people don't understand, but the Bilderberg group.
The Bilderberg group.
I love calling it the Bilderberg group.
And all of this shit is just that you can't think that something's not going on.
Yeah, it's not what it is on the surface.
Like, you can't think something...
I'm way in as far as that stuff goes.
I mean, that's all. I mean, we could go back and forth with... Like, that's what I'm saying. That's where... Okay, to get really, like, black about it, that's where they want us to do is... Okay, there you go. If somebody's... Like, if the guy's going... with the long cigar and the twisty fucking mustache is sitting there going... they might... These guys are fucking talking about it. And then me and you, we get into this thing about why didn't the planes hit higher? And they go, okay, good. Yeah, talk about...
Yeah,
the planes let's talk about the shit.
Now they're off the hot zone here.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. The whole idea is for us to... talk about
the details
of it.
I got to go back. I really don't think they needed the buildings to come down. You got one that hit the Pentagon, and who knows where the one in PA was going.
Right.
That was pretty damn impressive that day.
But ultimately,
they got the
bank owns America.
Sure, they got the grand finale with the buildings, going down, which made it a lot easier. But man, I don't know. Seems like they had enough to go and start a war.
It's possible,
in the Middle East.
But again. Think about this, and that's not even a question that we need to ask, like, in terms of government.
Because I'm with Ant with the whole...
That's a people question.
I'm with Ant with the whole demolition thing, but then you got someone on the phone...
Do you think it's a good enough?
Someone on the phone said...
What?
Just the planes hitting was good enough.
Yeah, you know why? We were out for blood when they blew up the basement, and it didn't bring the towers down.
And which they said in this movie, I don't know which one, I watched a million of these stupid movies, is the reason they didn't do it then is because wait a minute, only 6 people died during that one.
Right.
They said we can't get in there like that. No
kidding.
But what started changing these laws was not 9/11.
Yeah, it was the 1992, was it?
No, your boy, the white boy.
Not
McVeigh.
McVeigh was
is 168 people plus children in a building.
Yeah.
It made domestic terrorism, but it started changing the laws, which was starting to unfold for us to be afraid enough to lose our civil liberties, to just let the government do what they need to do.
Well, we can't have this blown up again, so the government says they have a way to prevent it, so let them do it. But it's taking away some of your rights.
Okay.
I don't use those rights that much.
Yes.
Those aren't the rights I use a lot. I use freedom of speech. I use that every day.
Well, the good news, we found his, passport, Muhammad,
His passport, are you fucking kidding? Do you, listen to me, I love
this angle. Go ahead.
As a fucking reality person.
Yeah.
The fucking plane was eviscerated. The buildings were eviscerated. People were eviscerated.
Vaporized. Nothing.
But they found his passport, Muhammad Atta's passport, in the rubble.
Why?
What was it in his top pocket? And his titty blew off intact. And here's this fucking passport.
He was in the front of the
plane. He was in the. He just flew out.
Flew right through the windshield.
Why? And landed perfectly. But he was gone. But they found his fucking unscarred passport on the ground. Here he is, motherfucker. Here he is.
Here's the guy.
Like, I understand a motherfucker.
But he was on the plane, and he had a fucking passport.
Shut the fuck up, man!
They know exactly who did what. It was Muhammad Atta hiding out now going, oh, thank God.
Anthony, if I lit you on fire right now, they wouldn't find your license unscathed. It'd be melted. It'd be something. The entire downtown was destroyed, but we found this motherfucker's passport.
What does that mean?
Meaning that, okay, we have to go in conspiracy world.
What does it mean?
Somebody takes this fucking, here's this paper here. Somebody got Muhammad the setup Atta, who was on it, and they just go.
Where's Muhammad Atta then?
Who the fuck knows?
He was sitting in that fucking pilot seat.
They're saying that there's some people that on that list to this day that are alive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But why is it crazy if they're saying it? You're saying it's crazy because you don't believe it.
I want to know where they are.
TV.
What is a dude that said in 2001?
Oh, that guy. I saw him. I know.
In the Telegraph, he's the fucking guy. They said, here's a picture. The guy said, that's a picture of my son who's alive, 10 years younger than what he is now. And the guy's like, that's me, 10 years younger. And then we go like this. Oh, yeah. Listen, that's what, see, ultimately my thing is, can we stop for a second and not let the next thing go on before we go, no. I'm not allowing you to move on till you tell me why Donald Rumsfeld is good pals with Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden.
Well, he was.
But I'm saying, can you tell me, can you go from the point where we got involved with all this oil shit from the entire thing from Iran, the original Iran hostage crisis, which was about oil and about the Ayatollah and about that shit.
It was also about Muslim extremism.
To the point where, here's the thing, where we stop. This thing that still to this day fucks me up. How do we know that they have weapons of mass destruction? Cause we sold them this shit. How do we move on from that? We have the receipt? We the ones who gave this fucker the weapons to kill Iranians. That's how we fucking know. Why won't the citizens, not the motherfuckers that's doing the shit, why won't citizens not let that move on?
But because that was what you did at that point. We were enemies with Iran. We weren't as big of enemies with Iraq at the time, so we supplied them. Same thing with Osama bin Laden. They were fighting the fucking shit out of the Soviets in Afghanistan, kicking their ass. Mm-hmm. We loved watching the Soviets get their ass handed to them.
Absolutely.
So we gave the Afghanis a shitload of fucking...
But what I'm saying during this, what you're talking about is what I'm saying is this. Me and you were friends doing fucked up shit. Now we're not friends. Now my war against you is not personal. It's some thing that just happened by the way. The fact is we were buddies doing fucked up shit. Now I gotta die. My kid gotta die. I gotta jump out of windows and shit. Because me and you are no longer friends, so there's a lot of collateral damage, because I want a piece of your funky ass because you fucked me over. That's what I mean, is that this shit is some personal vendetta shit that's involving everybody and money, and it's like, hey, Anthony, man, give me that money you owe me. Nope. Motherfucker. You know what? I'm going to kill Anthony. All right, America, we got to go kill this nigga. Why? Cause of 9/11, we gotta go fuck you up. Cause the Lusitania, I'm gonna fuck you up. Cause of Lusitania.
Well,
damn. The Bill Burr group started this whole thing.
Bill Burr.
And you're like 4 or 5 movies in.
Man, my eyes are ready to fall out my face, man.
Like I said, I had to stop because the dreams were like fucked up.
I'm going to do my studying this evening.
I tried to fucking call you and tell you to watch the Obama
I had a party going on from Friday fucking afternoon until like midnight last night when I finally was like, I got to go to bed.
Partying over.
That was just partying.
Watch that shit today when you get a chance, man, because I thought it was interesting, because I know you're not an Illuminati guy.
Yeah.
But you are a non-Obama guy.
And I like seeing all the sides.
The conspiracy, I wanted to see what your take was that Obama's now seem to be
sucked into this whole thing.
And taking and the conspiracy of why they might be, why he's strong on guns.
Do you think it was before or after his campaign and his election. Do you think as he's campaigning, he knew, all right, this is the situation I'm going to make? Or he was
Henry
elected
Kissinger,
and then
they said Henry Kissinger gave him his first job out of college. And Henry Kissinger was being interviewed, and he was just like, I thought this kid was this Henry Bilderberg Kissinger.
Very good.
According to the movie.
According to the movie.
I don't think there's a huge surprise. I think if you're going for the presidency, and if some of this stuff is true from the film, that Obama's more than aware as he's moving forward in his career.
That he's the
I don't think there's the big
first
surprise.
black president.
You know, there might be a few things he hears about, but then, you know, he gets in there and they go, yeah, you were right. This is how it is. Ta-da. Because he definitely looks different now, man.
He looks like he said...
He's like, wow, what did I get myself into?
He was the HNIC. He sat in the room, and somebody said, hey, man. Yeah. He sat there, he popped his collar, and somebody smacked the shit out of him and said, you ain't running this.
Right.
And he was like, oh, my God. All those pictures you see of Rihanna swelled up, that's Obama.
That's really Obama's photo.
That's not Rihanna. Somebody beat the shit out of Obama and told him, motherfucker, you ain't running this. Alan Greenspan might be. He came in the room and said,
that's why when Bush, Obama walked the Bushes out to the helicopter, you know, Bush was like, hey, you have no idea.
You are deep shit.
You have no idea until you go back in there.
I'm going back to drinking.
Right. he did a big whew. Thank God that's over with. Obama has a pep in his step. He's all ready to go. Walks back into that White House and like Bill Burr says, they showed him the basement.
Yeah.
Oh, before you do anything else, we're going down to the basement for a few. I got a couple things to show you.
Give me your BlackBerry, nigga.
Because when he became president, they said they debriefed him on national security and this and that, all these things he needed to now know as the president. And I went there and I go, wow, that shows that someone else is actually in charge, because they now have to show him what it's all about.
Yeah, who's in charge? The Federal Reserve Bank is in charge.
Right.
These motherfuckers, them.
Right, but Bush
when people say white people, I know what we mean now.
Yeah, Bush was long gone, and they was actually on the news, you know, that Obama's learning, you know, everything he needs to know to be the president. So who are those people telling him how to act as the president? Wouldn't that mean that these people have more knowledge and more power than the actual president?
And who are these people that stay? Anytime the boss leaves a job, people leave. Like, bosses don't just come in and everybody who was the boss when he was is still the boss. There's people there that he can't fire. It's like, hey, who are you?
Don't worry about who I am.
I want a new fry cook, motherfucker. I don't like you. Yeah. If I buy a McDonald's franchise, all you motherfuckers is fired.
By the way, I'm getting a report here from
our Danny,
our researcher. Atta's passport was not found. It was Satam al-Suqami's. It was found. Is misreported by many. 10 minutes of actual research will confirm this.
And who's this?
Satam al-Suqami.
But who is this that I'm supposed to go, okay, that's the thing?
The point is, I think the point is that regardless of whose passport it was, the fact that so many facts are misrepresented and reported as fact.
True.
Okay.
It happens so much on any, you know, it's just whatever you want to believe.
Exactly.
Fact.
And this is my saying. This is why I've said, okay, this is where it can implode the conversation.
Yeah.
Where it goes to, okay, Muhammad Azhar is what?
Talk about details.
Fine. Now I go. Now was the Gulf? What's the shit again?
The Gulf of Tonkin. Yeah.
Tonkin, was that a lie? It's official, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much known.
Fair enough. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
That we go to war based on lies. Okay, now we get into whether this is that, and the Hubli Muhammad wasn't Hubli, it was Gapata.
And now
Mahata.
the guy with the big cigar is laughing because
I don't. It's cool, good, but I believe there's a system that's going on that we're just sitting there going, okay, we're gonna argue about whether the planes hit higher or not. That's the people that run that. J.P. Morgan allegedly knows that's how fucking stupid we are. And we will argue that instead of going, hold up.
Right.
The Federal Reserve Bank, the country owes money to a bank like I owe money to a fucking bank? This is fucking crazy.
And you know what's even more amazing is that you think in this day and age, there's so much information out there on the internet that it would be harder to perpetrate these little conspiracies by the government and by the world order. But it's easier because there's so many distractions in the internet. There's so many ways to just look at the details instead of
another thing. Never forget this, Anthony. When you look at that money, you look at the pyramid. The pyramid is key. The bottom of the pyramid is all the people. The top is these couple of people. What happened? The difference between now and 500 years ago is that it was the guy, then the people. The people were right outside this fucker's door. At some point, they had to create stuff for the masses. Like, hey, come here, man. Look at this fucking piece of shit. You don't want to have your feet as dirty as him, right? Come on, I got this new shit. You clean your feet, give you some feet cleaner, give you some back warmer, get you in a house, get you in a bed, get you feeling good, and you go, hey, man, you want to be down with me? Oh, you know what? Run this fucker. So you never forget that we are willing as people to fuck other people. To be a little bit better, to live a little bit better. They're talking about this new, motherfucker, they went into global warming? Nigga. Global warming? What's wrong, Danny? He took a nice big huff. Me and Danny, I want to love Danny again.
What is the problem?
I don't know. That huff, can you tell me what that huff is so I don't feel like it's nothing?
I think you're just paying a little too much attention.
Okay, fair enough. So
I want to hear the global warming thing.
The global warming is some horseshit, right? And this is what they're saying on the thing, but it makes a lot of sense. What they're doing is they taxing everything that has to do with so-called us fucking up the environment. Cars, trains, this, that, and smoke. And what they're doing with that is they're taxing anything that developed countries already have. But what that does is when they're canceling out the global warming, it stops underdeveloped countries from ever developing cars, trains.
They have to start with the shitty coal burning fucking smokestacks.
Exactly. They have to stay in huts while we go and make deals to own the whole underdeveloped country. They want motherfucking ladies with the titties down to their knees and fucking some guy with his balls hanging down to his knees.
A stick on his dick.
To come out, right? And to stop developing those countries so that they can just go in and the third world countries are the richest in everything. So they got the diamonds, they got the fucking
minerals, and all that.
And they just go fuck yourself. So they're saying, global warming is a farce because Gore. I'm just saying what they're saying. Gore has a bunch of companies that's going to benefit from the taxing of global warming. That if we go on a crusade against global warming,
So he isn't this nice guy trying to help out the world. He's this fucking underhanded scumbag just trying to fleece the third world nation.
It's good for his business and it's good for business in general, global warming. Kind of using that same theory as a war economy, a global warming economy brings in a lot of money. If people buy into this whole global warming thing, it brings in a lot of money, right? Right?
Yeah. I'm just saying again
because I believe in
I could just get blown out the water by someone that just.
No, I believe in
the
one part I believe in is that whole war economy thing. Absolutely, war is good for business. It always has been. Always has been. So global warming could be another way to kind of take what war has been able to do for Americans, and it starts another revenue stream.
Yeah, another revenue stream.
Now we all have to go out and get our cars. And
we got to be green.
Yeah, we got to go get
green.
Go get our wind crap and what not. Let's take a quick break here. Patrice Oneal got the phones lit there, Patrice.
I don't know. I can't imagine how anybody can say anything. I'm saying, look, don't fucking talk to me about, first of all, there was 22.5 terrorists. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about the climate and what this shit really is. I don't, motherfucker, I don't travel the world finding, I'm just what I believe. I believe, if the Federal Reserve Bank is not federal, That's a big fucking deal. That we're borrowing money from a fucking bank of dudes.
You know what though? I'm from
Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan.
I'm from the school. Whatever the fuck is happening, let it keep happening because the whole world will collapse if we try to change things. Really?
Why and how?
You're going to try to like unravel this whole thing they set up years and years ago.
But here's the thing: if there's food, this is what I'm getting at.
It would have to be an all-out revolution, right?
What would happen? Like
a worldwide
food,
revolution.
If there's food, feed motherfuckers.
Yeah.
If there's houses, put them in it. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but that's what I'm saying. What collapses? The only thing that collapses, it's not going to collapse on the motherfuckers at the top.
Don't you think that they need class against class to keep them distracted against everyone's happy in a house and eating? They start looking upstairs and going, what are these motherfuckers doing?
Race against race, poor white people fighting poor black people. I went to this website, Nigger Mania. And I go,
I visited that quite a few times.
I'm looking at it, and I'm going, and a friend of mine, we was talking on the phone, and we both said the same thing. What the fuck did black people do to be so hated in this country? What the fuck did we do?
Did you get one chuckle from the site?
It was interesting, because, you know what?
Very interesting.
They got something where the motherfuckers broke down every black invention. And said it was some bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you motherfuckers? Like, we can't even have inventions.
You can't even have the peanut.
Niggas lied about the gas mask. This is why. Fucking Philip Johnson invented it.
This guy
in England.
invented the stoplight. That's bullshit.
Jesus. It's just like, that's what I'm saying. But all of this infighting, all of this, we're all getting fucked by this magic man somewhere. And they're laughing at us. Alan Greenspan, the shit he said where he just was like, it don't matter. It don't matter. What the fuck you think?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. The Rockefeller guy, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And then the guy's going, well, what's the next thing? When you, world order, what's after that? I don't know.
So whatever.
Whatever.
All right, we got to take a break. Patrice Oneal.